Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this little pixie, and it has got wings as well, and this is the first. So I've taken a pipe cleaner and just determined how big I want the pixie to be. It's around 5 centimeters, and I just made a little bend where the neck is going to be, and for the little tiny feet, because I want them little, just folded the pipe cleaner on one end, and on the other end I folded it inside so I don't have any sharp edges. And for the arms, the bend where the neck was going to be, I cut out a piece and just twisted it around the neck area to make the hands. And I'm folding in the sharp ends, just little tiny folds, and press them really tight. You can use a tool for that. So you get a little basic skeleton, and now I'm going to cover it with cordell slivers, and you have to take a very thin piece at a time so it can be wrapped easily around the pipe cleaner. And wrapping it around pipe cleaner is much more easier than wrapping around wire. So for larger animals, people usually wrap the pipe cleaner around the wire so the wool sticks nicely, because I wanted really tiny feet. So I folded it in, and now I'm covering the whole body. Once I'm done with the whole body, I'm going to build on the head. And I've gone diagonally on the joints of the arms, near the chest and the legs. Then you can wrap around the tummy part as much as you want. So this gives you a basic structure. Now I'm going to build on the head. And cordell slivers are the easiest to work with. So this is first time I'm doing this, and I share all my new projects with you. I want it nice and round, and I'm going to make it nice and firm. So the end of the pipe cleaner, that's in the head, don't have to worry too much about that because it's gonna have lots of wool around it, but if you want you can fold it in as well, the sharp end. I'm just making it nice and firm with my multi-tool. Now I'm marking the eyes. So once I've got an idea where the eyes are gonna be, you can add more wool. So I'm adding more wool to the mouth area, and it goes all the way to the back. So for doing 4D sculptures, you have to keep twisting your sculpture all around, and you want a nice shape. Don't want it to look flat from the back. Adding more to the tummy. So I want a nice and round figure of the little pixie. You can shape it as you want, but I want a round and chubby one. So it looks like Casper the Ghost right now. And the arms look a bit smaller, but I'm gonna build on that. So once I'm wrapping the wool around the arms, I have to be a bit more careful because I want them to be longer. So I'm extending the wool more than the pipe cleaner because they look too small. It's going to be easy because you've got the pipe cleaner more than halfway. So it's just extending a little bit. So when you're twisting the wool around the pipe cleaner, you just extend it a bit, like I'm doing over here. So I've got a little extension. I'm going to make it nice and firm with my needle. Make sure you got the both hands of the same length. Be careful that you don't break your needle because there's wire inside, but very gently you have to go across and around the arms until the whole figure is nice and firm. You have to keep checking the whole figure and see where more wool is needed. I'm just trying to make it stand. I've added more wool to the head, making it nice and firm now. And multi-tools do make the process a bit faster. You can always add wool to the figure, but you can't take out from it, so it's always better to build slowly and use little pieces of wool at a time. So I'm adding some more to the chest area, so I've got a nice balanced figure. I've got tiny blue glass eyes. I'm going to put them in, and they're really easy, just have to glue them on. And once they're glued in position, I'm adding a little more wool around them so it gets the eyelids. Very thin piece of wool and forms the eyelids. and with a tiny shred of black I'm going all around because somehow it looked incomplete, the blue just sitting there. So I think giving a black outline makes some difference. I'm just going under the eyelid that I made earlier and all around the eyeball. Some more wool down the middle just to give some depth to the eyes. Now I felt like some more wool was needed on the mouth, so I'm adding some more. For the eyelids, I'm just felting a little piece of wool and then placing it over the eyes at an angle so it makes it look cute and droopy. Now I'm gonna make small ears and just making a triangle out of the carded wool. So if you fold in a piece of wool, it becomes a triangle, and they have to be small. I always make bigger ears, adding more wool to the bottom, and I'll keep fixing the shape of the body until it stands on its feet. Just covering the tiny feet a little bit more because the brown, light brown pipe cleaner was showing. I'm gonna attach the ears and I'm just pinching them from the part I need, not attaching the whole thing because they were too big. Just gonna cut off the excess and covering the joints with more wool, and I want the head to be a bit more rounded from the back. Now I'm going to add some leaves, and I've cut out felt sheet. I'm using two colors of green, and you can make a flower on top if you want, a white colored flower, but I'm using two shades of green felt sheet and I'm cutting leaves out of it. And you can do shading with wool if you want. So I'm making lines with my needle. And I'm attaching small pieces of green wool just to make the lines prominent. But I think using a marker would be easier and will make it look more neater because the wool comes out from the other end and makes it a bit untidy. So I wanted to do the video with this project. I haven't really gone into much of the embellishments, but you can I make another pixie, I'll make it more decorative, and you can add beads. You can even embroider the leaves. But as this is the first time doing something other than animals, I just wanted to find out how it looks in the end. Here I'm using a watercolor marker to make lines, to make life much more easier. You can do that too. Or if you really want to embellish your pixie, you can embroider details on it. So I was pretty late on uploading a video and hadn't done anything else, so I thought I'll just let it be. If I enjoy making pixies, I'll make more with more embellishments, but this one can have leaves. So you can place them as you want, and then with your needle, just stab, stab, stab right in the middle. You can add a flower, you can add bigger leaves or smaller leaves. It's all imaginary, so this is my own creation. It's all imaginary, so I can make it any way I want, and I'm not making a real animal. So I got that reference. Like when you're making animals, you have to have a reference and try to make it as close as possible. But with creative content, you can make whatever you want. So for the stem, I'm trying to do something here. So take a strip of felt and put some green wool on it, so it just looks a bit more natural. And I've twisted it and I'm felting it into a round shape that's gonna go right on top of the head. You can stamp around it and attach it on the head, marking a little mouth. Still adding more wool to the bottom because it wasn't standing properly. So I wanted it to stand, so I'm adding more to the bottom so it balances with the feet and the whole pixie can just stand. Now for the wings, I'm taking a white felt sheet and I've drawn one wing with a pencil, and you can draw any shape you want. It can be rounded or smaller or bigger. So I'm cutting out one wing and then I'm going to trace the outline and make another one so I get the same shape and size. I've taken a watercolor marker and drawn a design on both of them, and somehow I thought my camera was on but it wasn't. And I want the same pattern. It can be this way or it can be on the other side, so I decided to do the pattern on both the sides. So I just copied it on both sides of the felt sheet. I'm just felting it right in the middle. The felt sheet does get attached with the needle, and if you want to be more secure you can add glue. So I'm just stabbing right where it's supposed to join with the body, and as I want them to be standing, I'm felting on both sides of it so it's nicely attached. And it does stand. I'm using my makeup kit just to add some color. I know the right way to use is the pastel in powder form,